guys? Holyknight with you, bringing you episode 2 review of High Score Girl. This episode was really good. It had gaming in it like the first episode, but it was more building the relationship between Hiro, our main character, and Ano, the female. It was building their relationship together. And even though, yes, there were still video games in here, but we really didn't get to see them play that many video games, even though there was a lot of games that was dropped through the whole episodes. But like I said, we saw them talking more and picking on each other more. On was picking more on Hiro, but yeah, it was a good episode. I mean, we had in the beginning, then we're in school and whatever, and he's talking about PC engines, how it's the next big thing, and blah blah blah. And back in the day when there were arcades was the #1 thing to go to play games. But once the PC engine did come out, it was like once everyone was able to buy their own system and their own games, the arcades actually got bankrupt. That's why we barely have any arcades now. Like, it's really rare to find an arcade nowadays. I mean, there's still some places that have them, but yeah, thanks to game systems and game consoles, is like game consoles and computer consoles are like they got way out of business. So yeah, it was nice seeing, this is like taking place, I guess, in the 80s, maybe in early 90s of Japan. So seeing that happen and seeing the main character explain to his friends the PC system and everything, and while Haru is explaining, excuse me, while Haru is explaining to his friends about the PC engine, and which is a console and how it works and the games and everything, you see she's in the back just like smiling, and she's like moving closer to eavesdrop, and his friends walk away ignoring him or whatever, and then he sees her spying, and he was like, "Oh, are you interested?" And he starts like teasing at her, and when he walks away, she gets upset and she starts to spray him with a hose because they clean in their school's pool for summer break. And it's funny because she, through the whole episode 1, she was beating on him, and in this episode, it's like she still beats on him, but it's not as bad. But she does, and she sprays him with a water hose, and then the next day he gets sick. And it gets funnier because like the next day he's sick, so he can't go to school, and he's home resting whatever, and the door opens up, and in his head it says mom, and he tells his mom, "I need a new ice bag, can you give me something to drink, blah blah blah," and he starts complaining about some other stuff. And then when he doesn't hear a reply back and he opens his eyes to look, he see An coming in his room, and he's like, "What are you doing here, blah blah blah." And then you see his mom in the back with a smirk saying, "This pretty girl from your school came to drop off some paperwork and some other stuff," and she had made her like later on a pancake, like a big thing of pancakes, which surprisingly the little girl ate it all by herself. And it got funnier because it was like Haru's mom was like, "Well, I gotta go to the store to get some more ingredients. Since you're gonna be home alone, don't do no law things." And she had like a smile saying it. So it was funny. And then she closed the door and she left it a little bit open, and it got real funny because her facial expression, she had like this creepy smile with peeking. And of course Haru noticed it. He was like, "Mom, why are you peeking? Like, are you expecting something?" And she's like, "Oh no." And then she starts slithering down. She starts moving to the side and up and back. And he gets upset. He goes out, starts screaming at her, and she like walks away. And I like how they mix in slice of life with comedy and gaming, but the comedy is not boring comedy, because most Japanese anime, when you got comedy in it, it's like it gets kind of boring sometimes, because it's like for a lot of us Westerns, we don't really catch the jokes that much. But with this, it's like, since everything's about gaming and like family type jokes, it's like it's more open to the public for all people of nationalities and religions and race that's watching this. So it's like the jokes are actually funny. You would catch on pretty quick and enjoy it. So yeah, I was just cracking up the whole time watching this. And then after that, you know, Hero and An starts playing games in his room. He notices he's very smart, even though he got bad grades, but he's very sensitive and smart in other things. Because he noticed that An is playing, I'm not really sure how you pronounce the name. I'm not sure if it's An or Ono, but I'm just gonna probably use her last name, Akira. But he noticed that, you know, she plays games to release stress. So at all this time that he was trying to kick her out, he decided to stop trying to kick her out, and he was just showing her all these games. They were playing games, blah blah blah. And we had this one point early on in the episode where, like, he tries to take the controller away from her because she's playing too many games, and he tries to lay down and go to sleep because he's sick. So he's like, you know what, I don't care if I'm sick, I want to play. So he tries to take the controller, and his mom comes in, and he hears them, you know, tugging upstairs. So in her mind, something's going on, and she comes in, and it was just bad luck for her. Like, the instant she comes in, Anna's on the floor with her, like, skirt, like not her legs wasn't up, but her legs were like bent like this, and her skirt was kind of folded to the side, and you see Haru is on top of her trying to like pull the controller, but the mom is like thinking something else, and she starts to like put them in chokeholds and stuff, and she's like, I can't believe you're doing all these things, I ain't raised you to be this way, etc, etc. But it's funny because she's complaining about all this, but while she's complaining, she's also smiling and looking at us, the viewers, so it's funny. Then later on, you know, the next day, he gets better. He's in school, talking to his friends. He's sitting on the bench while, you know, people are swimming in swimming pool they cleaned previous episode, and and An tries to get him sick, and she just keeps splashing water, and he was like, "Ha, that won't work on me," because he just, you know, walked away. So she got kind of like upset, and she like embarrassed, and she just went into the water and moped. And then later on, from after that, when school was done, Herbo went to the arcade, and he found out about this legendary arcade that has all these games and machines, and they're supposed to have one of the new FF V5 games. I guess this is like their version of Final Fantasy, or maybe a pre-launch of Final Fantasy. I haven't get to research that, but most of these games that they showing on the anime are actually real games that were in the arcades back in the day when arcades, you know, existed. When they were very, very well known and existed around. Now they like obsolete, but yeah, kind of that. He found out about that, so he borrowed the bike from the shop lady, and the instant he hopped on the bike to leave, An jumped in, and he was like, "Okay, so you want to come too?" So they take like a good 5-10 minutes to get there. For us, it was like about 5 minutes seeing them travel there. Close to 5 minutes to see them travel there. But when they finally get there, it looks old and beat up and corroded. They go down this really, really dark hallway, and An is scared of scary games, so he's like mentioning like spinner jokes and stuff like that, and Split House, which is another scary game when you play with Jason. And she pinches him, and she tugs onto him, and she holds onto him while they go all the way down. And when they finally get down and open the door to the legendary basement games, it was a pretty good place. I mean, it smelled very horrible, he said, and smelled like Mo, and the owner was like this creepy dude with like white hair that was just smiling the whole time, and it was just creepy. But they had a pretty good time playing different games. And then things get real interesting because in the end, when they like left, Hero lost, not Hero, but Hero had lost the keys to the bike. So when he went to turn around to go back in the building to look for the keys, the building's shutters were shut. It looked like really, really older, like it was abandoned. And then this old guy popped out of nowhere saying, "Oh, this building's been abandoned for years. The owner left in '84 and no one ever heard of him. So we assume that he's dead." And both, as you can see in the thumbnail, that's my thumbnail, An got really, really shook and scared, and so did Hero. And she starts beating on him again, and it's just very, very cute, you know. And then we get this special scene where like he buys her food because he's hungry, and so he buys like this little snack thing for them, and he also noticed that her feet starts to hurt, so he gives her like his shoes, and he takes her shoes, and they walk out, and it ends with like the again with the butler coming by and finding them, and he takes Anna away back home, and then we get Harold going back home getting beat up by his mom because he failed and everything. He got nothing but straight ones in his book card, and Ann is practicing the piano, and then we get some really good dialogue from Ann's teacher, who's teaching her piano, language, flower arrangements, and all that stuff. She said Ann apostrophe, the way she's sitting is right, the way she's playing is right, and that she has like this really good look of determination in her face, and she's confused on what's inspiring her. So I'm not sure if this is gonna become romantic between them later on, or they're just gonna be very close friends. I think they're leading more towards like romance, since this is supposed to be slice of life sex video game action. But that's just my theory. I think they're gonna be more close friends. But yeah, that was the episode. It was really, really good. I enjoyed it again. I heard that this is supposed to be only 12 episodes long, and we already did episode 2 now, so sadly we only have 10 left to go. But it's real good, and hopefully it stays this way. And yeah, hopefully they get together in the end. Maybe we might get a time skip, because right now I believe they're in middle school. So, but yeah, tell me your thoughts and comments, your opinions. Like, share, and subscribe. And I'll see you on the next one. Holyknight.